Aquarius. Welcome and welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. I generally, I shuffle the cards a million times, before and after and during, and I wasn't, really quite done yet, but I just, I had this urge to start the video. So here we are. I hope that June has been going well for you. We are going to be talking about July, which of course is crazy to me that it's somehow July already. Just going so fast. So without further ado, like I said, we're just going to shuffle the cards a million times. Generally, when the cards start kind of popping out, I know that they are ready. Kind of like that. So we'll just shuffle a few more times. And we'll get into it. July for Aquarius. Okay. Okay. We have the Empress, the Ace of Pipes or the Ace of Wands, Two of Arrows or the Two of Swords, Eight of Pipes or the Eight of Wands, Seven of Pipes, and Five of Arrows. Well, this is the first time in 3 months that the Star card. Let me just double check here that it's not. Okay. Because that would have been funny. All right. Beautiful. Let's get into it. It's interesting. I'm just kind of sitting with these cards a little bit, and we have the moon at the bottom of the deck, and it seems like it's like the outcome is not the point. I mean, well, of course, we'll go through each card, but the moon talks about things not being as they appear. It's a lot of subconscious. In this deck, it, it's almost kind of like downloads. But anyway, like I said, we'll get to it. So we start with the Empress. And the Empress talks about bounty, really, right? The Empress is the divine feminine energy. So being in flow, right? Intuition, fertility, not necessarily reproduction, but opportunities either showing up in your life or creating even opportunities. It certainly can be. The Empress here, the depiction of this card, she's nursing a child. There's also, this message of having what you need. I love the guidebook for this this tarot deck. I love this tarot deck in general. It's such a beautiful you know, like depiction of the journey through tarot. And just really quick, I just wanted to read the affirmation that says, I am a fertile ground of possibility. My talents, abilities, and experiences now combine and compel me toward my highest expression. As I allow myself to be nurtured, I am confident that I will flower. Right? This could even be like the culmination of the things that have been in motion or that you've been manifesting over the last few months since the star card didn't show up. And like I said, I mean, I'm pretty sure that it has been in your monthly reading, maybe even mid-month readings for the last 3 months, I think, right? So it's almost kind of like all of that has led to this. And then we have the Eight of Wands or the Eight of Pipes underneath that. And, you know, wands talk about action, communication. I see them as being the information cards as well, either giving or receiving information. And generally, it's faster moving, right? It's like something happening pretty quickly. And we even see this figure like really kind of being ready to go, right? Like, okay, I'm ready to do the thing, right? And there is also this sense of confidence coming from, this could be in the energy that you have been in for some time. Like maybe you have been working on creating those possibilities or creating those opportunities, like really kind of getting yourself into a position where the right opportunities show up, or you've gone for the right opportunities. Because honestly, I mean, even just the similarities between the two figures on these cards, it's like you go from being this nurturing, I mean, if you have children, maybe they are getting to a point where they're a bit more independent. You know, just kind of getting to that age where they can communicate with you, you know, maybe going through potty training, you know what I mean? Like just a little bit more independent, so you feel like you can maybe have a little bit of space and energy to focus on something you want to go for. But like I said, you know, it's almost like going from this energy to this being ready. There is this confidence here. Either like, you know, ready for that thing to come into your life or ready to go for it. This could even be taking action from being in this kind of like divine, like feminine kind of energy, right? Like allowing your intuition to guide you, or just kind of being a bit in that flow energy where it's almost like, you know, like I'm thinking, I keep getting this image of like a pinball machine, you know, just kind of allowing yourself to be bounced around. And it's not necessarily uncomfortable, but it's just like, you know, this surrender. Like I'm going to allow myself to go where I am guided. And then we have the Ace of Pipes here, or the Ace of Wands, which talks about desire and passion. And again, you know, wands having to do with action and communication, but this is something new. We have this pipe, you know, or this wand coming in. There's, if you can see, there's these little stars kind of coming down. It's almost like a download. I mean, like I said, it's really just kind of this energy of like being in the flow, not necessarily forcing anything, but kind of being open. Let's see what the book says. Great Spirit, I am ready. Great Spirit, I open my day with a prayer to you. I look to the east, to the rising sun, and I seek direction. It is springtime in my heart, and I am ready. I listen for your call and ready myself to receive the wand of power. Ignite in me the energy of creation. Inspire a life divine. Awaken in me all possibility. This is what I was saying, like, you know, with that star card that has been around for a while, it's almost like, you know, what you have been, you know, working on co-creating with the energies of the cosmos, right? This is like the culmination of that. So you could just maybe even start seeing the expression of those things in the 3D world. And we have the Seven of Pipes here, which is a Seven of Wands. And that generally talks about being a bit defensive, like standing your ground. I always see it as like having to defend yourself against like other people's opinions, other people's doubts, and other people's fears. Because, you know, like people have a tendency to just kind of project those onto you when you're doing something that they're uncomfortable with. And you're like, I mean, I'm the one that's doing it. So, you know, I've got my own things to deal with. I don't necessarily need help with that, right? But in this deck, this also talks about not making... It's like, you know, enjoying the process, enjoying the journey, like having fun on the journey, and recognizing that doubt and fear are part of that journey, and almost really kind of like allowing yourself to play with those emotions and those thoughts, like to the point where they don't kind of settle in your consciousness, right? They show up, you recognize them as being part of the journey, and you're like, hey, welcome to the party, right? Like, dance with me. And they're like, no, I don't want to, I don't know how to dance. And, you know, like you're just still dancing around. You're like, okay, whatever, right? I had that whole visual going on in my head. But at the same time, like you're still moving forward. You're not, you know, like allowing yourself to be affected by those things. You're still allowing yourself to move forward. And if this is something that, of course, like you have been trying to manifest and trying to actualize for some time, when you start to see it in the 3D, it might be a little bit, I don't want to say scary, but, you know, I mean, you're like, holy shit. Here it is, and I hope that it's everything that I hoped it would be. Speaking of the star card, right? And it's like, you know, try not to... sorry about that. Somebody, I had a delivery. So yeah, you know, like when you start to kind of see it in the 3D world, right? It's like, holy shit. But again, it's like, you know, feel that, but almost allow it to be like part of the flow. Don't let it stop you. Don't let it slow you down as much as you can, right? I mean, don't let it Uno reverse you or anything like that. And then we have the Two of Arrows or the Two of Swords. And that generally talks about indecision. I'm trying to... Let's see. It says, I have studied the map of mind. I am off to take charge of my world. In the midst of my enthusiasm, I take time out to make sure the highest goal can still be seen. My motivations are clear. I am seeking the best for all. I accept help from those who have blazed the trail before me. I set my heart on a course of love. I desire plenty for all. My sights are set high above the common thought. Great Spirit, your will dwells within as my highest aspirations. Lead me now on the course of making them real. Absolutely. It's like, you know, setting that arrow, and she is pointing that arrow towards the future, right? Towards the right-hand side of the card. And I just wanted to read the Five of Swords here really quick too. It says, Great Spirit, I see that now that I have provided so well for myself, others envy what I have gained. My possessions are sought by others in need. Grant me the wisdom to help them satisfy their real longings and to provide for themselves the things they desire. Grant me the faith to continue my own way and to leave no one wanting behind me. I shall revise my plan to include new knowledge you give me. I accept further understanding you will give me so that harmony once again will reign. You know, generally the Five of Swords talks about kind of like competition. I always see it as like a battle of wits, because swords have to do with our thoughts and our intellect, right? I always kind of see the swords as being ego also, since that's generally where we hear our ego is in our minds. So it's almost like kind of having to battle those self-limiting thoughts and self-sabotage and all of that. I mean, of course, there can be other people involved also. But it's interesting because, I mean, even these two characters look the same. I mean, they're wearing the same clothes. Interesting. This can even be, because I'm looking at the imagery here, and, you know, of course, like this figure sitting here, this one kind of seems to be like inquisitive almost. And then we have this figure that's kind of bringing this child. So it's, you know, you could be offering a service. Or maybe you even want to, I keep hearing the word change, but that's not the word that I'm actually looking for. Like, If you already offer services, maybe there's like something that you want to tweak about them. And maybe, you know, like you're kind of in a battle with yourself about if you should or shouldn't. Like, do I have enough knowledge to do this or not? Or, right? Do I know enough about it? It could even be just keeping too much to yourself because, you know, like again, this figure, it looks like their rice or their bowl is full. It looks like rice to me. I don't know. But this one isn't, and this one is coming up with a bowl. So you know, the Two of Arrows talks about setting your sights forward, thinking forward, right? You understand what you want to do, and you're going to start moving in that direction. And it's kind of like the Five of Arrows is like either, you know, kind of check your intentions, or don't, you know, like don't be afraid to share. I don't know, like I want to say before you're ready, but I know that that is so hard to do. I mean, you can even just like maybe dip your toe in the water, and maybe there are friends or a community that you can offer like donation based things to, like if it is a service that you want to offer, and just see if you can get some feedback. Because again, you know, it's like you have it, but you don't necessarily want to share it. That's just, like I said, just the imagery of this card. And then I wanted to read about the moon here. The moon says, all that ever was or will be is here now within me. My body incorporates a planetary dream and my most personal love into a life grace-filled. We are the godmothers. We are the grandmothers. And the moon is our symbol. We are intuitive knowledge that you feel or sense. Knowledge that seems to be within your body. Our teaching is this: trust your body. Your body subtly reacts to everything you present to it and gives you feedback as to whether a particular thing is right for you in that moment. At night, when you sleep and dream, your body goes through experiences that it needs in order to live the life you are attempting to live. Your thoughts lay out the blueprint, and your body tells you what to do moment by moment through its feeling responses. Thought and action, will and movement, these are the things that reorganize your body's cells. And I feel like that's exactly like thought and movement. Will and action, like both of those things are on the table here. So again, I may still kind of have this feeling about, you know, like the outcome not necessarily being the point. The point is that this is all coming together now. And what are you going to do with it? Like, how are you going to externally universalize it? The stuff that you've been manifesting over the last few months. We have thoughts, we have action with, you know, swords and wands. And other than that, we have two, like I said, very, you know, like intuitive, flowy, feminine cards out on the table. Beautiful. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for being here. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.